Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, rules can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So, I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play it as karmic themes, to help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing. See, you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. And so when we attract things that we don't like, or people come into our life that trigger us, a lot of times we don't see that we have the same energy because we don't have the same character. So we're like, how is my energy the same as somebody that's of a lower vibration? So I like to do these readings because the readings have a therapy style to them, helping you to understand not just why your person does what they do and what they're going to do and why they, like I said, why they did what they did, why they're going to do what they're going to do, but really, why you're attracting that person into your life and what you would need to do to stop the karmic cycles. Karmic cycle is just reliving the same karmic experience. And that karmic experiences could be not having enough, not good enough, making you be in a place that makes you feel as if you're inadequate, like there's something wrong with you. Like when we are in relationships that make us feel that way, then understand again our habits and our behaviorisms are then shaped through that perception. And we don't stay in those relationships, a lot of times. Just the same as you don't stay with your parents, but the habits and the behaviorisms that you formed in that lifetime, well, that's what stays with you until you break the karmic cycle. So the readings are really designed to help you heal, though we always want to know what our person does and why they do what they do. All right, now let's see my other deck. Here it is. All right, I need to sip my soda. Yes, I still drink soda. I mean, some people are like, oh, don't drink soda. It's like, I love soda. So bad for you, but it's the sugar. It's the bubbles. And I know I drink water. Everyone says you should drink water. You should drink water. I should drink water, but I like soda. And that's why I get kidney stones. Okay. So the word of the video is Dark Night of the Soul. It fell out, so we had to take it, but I always like to pull one too, because I believe that there are no mistakes. Even when we think that things are a mistake, light. Now, if that's not the exact opposite energy, right there. So I'm going to explain why. I'm going to pull just one more. I hate that card. I'm so tired of that card. So I'm going to pull another card too, and that's hostility. Why? Just because there are no mistakes, and that's the energy I'm in today. So, Dark Night of the Soul. You're in separation from someone that's going through a dark night of the soul. That I believe they always knew that you were a soulmate. They always knew who you were, but now they really even know who you are and why. Again, the light. And so, but the thing is, this person, like how they felt about you a long time ago is not how they feel about you now. So there's also a sense that they can't control the situation because they're going through a dark night of the soul. And everybody that knows somebody that's gone through a dark night of the soul, it's because there's been a bunch of tower moments. There's been something in this person's life that hasn't worked. Really, it's when the universe comes in and says, enough, you've been living out of balance for a long time. So there's going to be a few tower moments. It's time to pay your karmic debt. And the dark night of the soul is the fact that this person is dealing with that. So again, and I feel like now, again, that explains why they're not in the same place where they were when they first originally met you, and why they're actually seeing, again, this light. Relax. Sometimes it's just people walking. All right. And so we see again, when you were dealing with them, it was nothing but manipulation. You couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't. And that would be if, especially, there was always a soulmate connection, but they wanted to manipulate, they wanted to dominate. And dominate wasn't necessarily mean, hey, they tried to control me because I was in a relationship. They tried to control how you thought about yourself, really. It's like this person played a lot of mind games, because you could feel one thing, but they would do another, like give you very little, to have a conversation and leave certain things out of their conversation. Try and make a decision that's best for you on half of the information that you get. You're not going to. This person was a karmic when you met them. There was still a soulmate, but they were a karmic. And I think that you didn't see their energy, because when you meet your soulmate, they feel like home. It doesn't matter that they're a past life karmic mate. You don't know that person yet. So you saw their potential. You saw that they pretended to be that. And I feel that this person pretended to be that, and they saw you as someone that was humble, someone that was, really living your truth. And this person really thought that I feel like, could kind of have their cake and eat it too. Lies. Why does a person lie? Well, you know why. They had a hard time letting go of the past. And what happens is it plays out as a lot of chaos in the relationships. But so it's because every relationship now, has to pay for whatever the previous person did. That's how this person does. And they don't really get into a relationship like a deep soulmate connection. When we're in the divine energy, it means that we're ready to, give equal, give and take reciprocity. We're going to, be more mindful of this. This person was selfish. And that's why they don't really know how to come back. That's why they're hostile, because you're holding their feet to the fire. You're like, I don't care whatever connection you thought that we had. It's like it's not enough for all the shit that you kind of put me through. Unless you like showed me something else where it's like, again, there was nothing but dishonesty. So again, what was the dishonesty? What was the dishonesty about? Or what was this person doing? We have to say, what was this person doing? Or why were they doing it? And then we'll see what type of connection this is and what's going on internally with them, because healing, that's what happens. Things happen internally first for awareness. But right now they're in a place where they're angry. So I feel like this person, they might have been controlled by someone in their environment. And that could be someone didn't want them to date you. It could have been that. They could have been still connected to somebody else. There was someone that was in their environment that intimidates them to conform to what they want, not necessarily what they want, and what's best for them. So the thing is, when you met this person, they like to take risks. And it's because they're like a martyr. Like they act as if I'm so good because I stay in this situation, but that's not really it. They stay in that situation because they're intimidated by whatever that person is doing. That person, now, again, it could be family, it could be a karmic, but it's not love. And we've been getting that lately, like a person that's just kind of connected to somebody else that they're not really want to be in that type of relationship. So they kind of live a double life. And again, because there's money issues. And so when you met this person, it was all about the illusions. It was all about what they want to show you. So yes, they felt the connection, but it didn't matter if they're in a connection with someone that someone's dominating them, but not really dominating them. They're going to pretend that they're the martyr. Oh, look, I'm so self-sacrificing. No, you're not. You're what you do is you take risks all the time. You run around all the time. You're not a martyr. You make yourself feel better. And so they didn't have any room for you by the time that you came along. It's because, again, they were in this life. And that life, that it's all about, like, betrayal. They're not being loyal to anybody. So you have to say, why did they say? You know why they say money issues, and there's just a fear of change. I mean, really, it's coming out. It's family patterns. Their family stayed in a bad marriage. They need to stay in a bad marriage. It's the same habits, the same behaviorism. So, like, here it is. They're really in a place of disempowerment. So because they're imbalanced, they would need for you to be unbalanced. And by you holding their feet to the fire, they actually see you as being rejecting them, which you are. And that's a past life connection to them. And right now they're pissed off because, again, their image is shattered. Like, you don't trust this person anymore, and you put them back into that place of inadequate. But understand, you wouldn't have been able to make them feel inadequate unless they felt inadequate to begin with. So it's, again, your past life karmic mate that came into this person's life. And what they're usually able to take risks where they're able to have their cake and eat it too. And with you, they can't do it, and you saw it. And that's why this person is angry. They're hostile because it's like, how can they come back from this? They can't. And now that the fact that you're going to be about and going about your life without this person and you don't really care, it's, again, there's a lot of jealousy. And that's because this person's not really living authentically. They don't have control over their life. In order for them to feel good, they have to run around behind whoever it is back, and you're an adult. It's like, but you're not in control of your finances. You're not in control of your life, but you have the illusion as if you do, but you really don't. And so that makes this person feel inadequate. So really, they need to heal that. And so you have to say, why did you attract that person into your life? If you're a mirror of what comes into your life. So one thing could be if your finances weren't in order, right? If your finances, because this person was not strong within themselves. So it could be for some, not all, but understand it doesn't need to be, because imbalance goes to imbalance. Whether it's a little imbalance or a lot imbalance, it doesn't matter. There's only two energies, love and fear, spirit says. So it could be anything that you feel inadequate about. So we look at the inner child wounds to see, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of what comes into your life. Look at this, self-sabotage. Whenever I see that is related to shame. It is, because I'm not feeling deserving of. This person self-sabotages themselves. They don't have to stay connected. They have to not care. Again, and do what's best for themselves. But if you're walking into nothing, and that's the thing, we have to become ourselves. If we actually became ourselves by pouring into ourselves and finding ourselves, then, we'd have so much joy and passion in our life that we wouldn't want to stay in that type of connection. And you also wouldn't be connected to someone like that stays in a connection like that makes you feel like you can't have it, where you can have it. It's like, but you got to believe that you're deserving of it. So we look again, love. So that's not loving yourself enough a lot of times. Why? A lot of times if we didn't feel loved. And sometimes it has nothing to do with anyone except for ourselves. How we treat ourselves, and really how you treat yourself. If you're going to give to this person, then that's definitely self-sabotaging. Belittled, growing up in an environment with a parent that's, kind of speaks down to you. It doesn't mean that they didn't love, but our parents were taught the way that they were taught. So, if you're a little kid and it's like, come here, shithead, what did you get on your math test? Obviously that's not. And some parents really did call their kids like that. Like, oh, you're so stupid. If children hear that over and over and over again, they begin to feel inadequate. It's just what happens, because we look to our parents for love. We tend to put our parents on a pedestal when we're children and think that they're perfect because we don't know anyone else. And they seem to be able to know how to do everything. But as we get older, we begin to see the flaws, but there's still that inner child self. And that inner child self was like, well, my parents like yelled at me all the time, made me feel inadequate, made me feel so. Spirit says, and this person feels inadequate too. But there's nothing wrong with you. Then there's nothing wrong with this person either. It's again, they feel that way. They're trapped in their trauma. They're trapped in reliving that. And if you would have entertained this, you would have been trapped in your trauma, is what Spirit says. That's what past life karmic means. It means, hey, you didn't learn whatever the lesson was in a past life, and it wasn't a good lesson. And this lesson, again, to be with somebody that emotionally can't show up, can't give, because, hey, they're connected to someone else. So everything's bullshit. It's just going to be the surface. Not because they don't have feelings for you, but because they don't have the courage to become who they need to become. And that's really, Spirit says, and you grew up with trauma is why, Spirit says. So you needed to integrate the spiritual lesson. And that was, again, not even being a friend to this person because like they're not really a friend with this, that the person is not a friend. It's like, it's a friend of me. So a lot of times what happens is when we grow up in trauma, it's not, we have trust issues. We create the same experience because that trauma is self-sabotaging. And how you say it, why I was a nice person, and Spirit says you aren't nice to yourself. And I live inside of you as a gift of Spirit. You have to love me first, that by loving yourself first. This way you teach people how you want to be treated. And you're caring about somebody else or paying more attention to what someone else's feelings were more than your own. Oh, well, I was strong, or I trusted them. And Spirit says they showed you what they wanted to show you. And because there was this connection, and there was a connection, but this person is like, they'd have to change their entire life. And Spirit says, well, you have to realize I bring people into your life to change you, to heal you. People change because they love. They fall in love. They like, love makes us do different things that we didn't think that we could do. It's a universal panacea. So Spirit's saying, like, I'm hoping that this person takes the pill so that they, want more for themselves. Because I want them to restore their energy back to unconditional love, their original energy, because they grew up with a lot of family patterns. They feel inadequate. They're not honoring themselves. So look how they're living. So of course they got to take risks and have risky behavior. That's an adrenaline kick. It's addictive behavior, just like running around with different people and lying is. And it's because they feel inadequate, because it doesn't feel good. Otherwise, their life is boring. I'm connected to someone I don't want to be with because of money issues or what it looks like. That this person doesn't like that. No one would like that. But what'll happen is, again, they're going to attract someone that believes that, believes their lies, number one, gets caught up in the romance and not really what it is. And if we are lacking that passion in our life, of course, it's like wearing beer goggles. You thought that the person was good looking. And then the next day you saw that they weren't good looking, and you don't know how that happened. Well, you were at the bar and you had a little too much to drink and you didn't know. It's the same exact thing when you're wounded. You don't have passion in your life. So, this person is good looking. I can have fun on a Saturday night with you, and Spirit says that's the problem. And so you have to integrate. Now you integrated because you said no, because this person didn't have anything to offer. They would have kept you in a place of feeling inadequate. But now, how are you going to transmute that negative energy? Spirit says you have to embody that new consciousness. We have to see that you healed it. You're in physical form to learn and to manifest. So where is the learning part? Again, you have to change that energetic template that makes you the vibration that attracted this person into your life to begin with. The spirit says, you have to envision brighter horizons. If you can't imagine it, you can't create it. If you don't know it, you can't create it. Spirit says, hey, if you grew up with trauma, where again, and that means you grew up with a trauma bond, and like your parents were a trauma bond, or they just had a bad relationship, or no relationship. Only two energies, love and fear. So any negative type, well, we're living in survival. That's what we grow up in. It's just what happens because you're conditioned right away not to trust because, hey, that parent doesn't get along with their spouse, and there's trust and there's fighting and there's argument, and so it becomes about the trauma that we stay in bad relationships just for the children, or we stay in for the money, or we stay in. So again, brighter horizons means you got to do something different. And you can't, unless you go have a love affair with yourself, well, you won't know what you really love. And no one can be in your life while you do this either, because they really shouldn't have like an opinion on what's going to be best for you while you're finding yourself. So yes, it's about having unshakable faith, but faith is really the bridge that connects you to what you sow, to what you reap. So you're in that space, and Spirit says it's up to you. It's like, but you have to believe that you're deserving of it. And you can't imagine anything. And that's what's important. We have to utilize our spiritual sovereignty, our gifts. If you can imagine it, you can create it. You embody the new energy. You're acting as if it's already here. It manifests, is what Spirit's saying. So you have to believe that it's going to happen, because it's not going to happen like the next day, as Spirit says. That everything that you've overcome in your life, and that you're strong, and that you're gaining spiritual knowledge from that. And now Spirit says, because there's no mistake, so it fell on the floor, so we have to take it. Go into the unknown, Spirit says you don't know how you can get healthy in the same place that you got sick. I want you to go out into the world, meet different people, experience new things, envision brighter horizons, be in the energy of love by doing what you love, but getting stimulated by things that interest you. Then makes a way out of nothing from what's inside of you. What's inside of you, because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And Spirit says, yeah, there was too much of that trauma from the past that you did. Like, you have to live a life that's going to become something, instead of looking to, let me just, do what I think is going to make me feel better for the time being. When you met this person, you weren't 100% strong within yourself. Some of you got there during the process. That's why you were like, yeah, didn't want to be with this person. I worked on myself. And Spirit says that was the purpose. And others of you, like I said, like, are just not saw this person for who they are. And it was like, I'm not going to be with them because they really have nothing to offer to me. But it's really about seeing that the issue is them. It made you feel that way because there was a lack of passion inside of you. And Spirit says, no one can be your passion. You have to create that. Otherwise, you'll always give too much, because you'll say, well, I did this and this for you. And, I would expect you to do it back. And Spirit says that's codependency. And what happens in trauma bond relationships, which is like the ancestral lineage that you're breaking, is, we're not whole. I'm not whole in myself. I'm not strong within myself. I'm happy Like I'm only happy, or my survival is okay if somebody else, like this person that's connected to somebody else that they don't want to be connected to, but they have a fear of change. And really, we can go with the flow of life, because life is always changing if we're strong within ourselves. So again, this person's doing things ass backwards. And as long as they stay like that, they'll always be depleted and not feel good and have a root chakra imbalance. And the adrenals are there. So there's a lot of internal stuff going on, but this person doesn't show any emotion, and they have addictive behavior to suppress that. And that's sabotaging. So knowing how this person is, and Spirit says it's up to you now, because went through this to see it, take the knowledge, again, create yourself, and now just be in a place of gratitude. It's hard sometimes to be in a place of gratitude, but you need to be thankful for what you have. It's a part of making the law of attraction work for you. If you're not grateful for what you have, you do not have. So be aware of the light in your life. Direct your thoughts to the beauty in and around you, again, inside of you. So that's what you're healing, that by creating you, going into new places so that you can see yourself differently. That's going to help you, again, envision a better future. Give thanks to God for every little thing that brings you joy. You're enlightened by your thoughts. Keep your thoughts enlightened. And again, that's by going out and interactive in life. And riches will surround you. And you just need to continue to appreciate all that life brings you. So, because that's where you are. So you don't let somebody take what's yours. No one can actually take what's yours. We tend to give it away. We don't realize that we do that. We do it by being too nice, by abandoning ourselves. So you really have to be strong within yourself, because this person's not strong within themselves. And in order to live that way, they have to live really imbalanced. And whoever is connected, unfortunately, gets a lot of karma. You avoided the karma. And guess what? They get to watch that, because it's not like there wasn't a connection. There was a connection. Let's get curious. Even though Spirit says it's not important, it's not important, it's not important. Let's see whether they're suffering. It's like, because there is a dust part of me. I want to know, like inquiring minds. Let's face it. Does this person, are they affected by it? But understand, Spirit says this. They're not. They don't really care about that. No, I think that what it is that this person sees that, again, you let go, like that it helps them with their ascension process. So you help them, but there's a sense almost like this person, like by them seeing your ascension, because you're ascending, you're evolving. Well, this person stays in a place of like just their life is a mess. Their life is just complicated. So them having to see your life and move on, obviously they have to look at themselves. And again, whatever goes on in your life. So I feel like this person does watch, you for time after. And I say that because they look closer, but there's some sort of celebration or some sort of thing that happens for you. And in the winter, and I just feel like, what they're going to see is that they could have been with you, but and that you're, again, not the person that you were. So it just keeps on stating that. It's almost like at one time they could have been like a unit with you. They had that potential. So it's almost like they're ruminating on that. Are they miserable? Well, they're miserable in their life. It says that their life is a mess. So it's almost like this person like isn't really 100%. It's almost like they're numb to their situation. I wouldn't be surprised if there was addictions and other things here that this person does to suppress their emotions, to not really have to deal with their life, because they're not living a life. Someone else has control over their life. They have to create the illusion as if they have life, and that's exhausting. It's exhausting to keep up, and that means no one can get that close. So it's a really lonely existence, and it's a sad existence. So I'm going to leave that there. But lucky for you, you're not in that energy, Spirit says, but it's about going out into the world and actually seeing a better future for yourself. And you can actually create that, because that's really how you get to envision a better future, is that you're actually creating it and grounding it and being a part of it, instead of just connecting to a relationship, that you are actually designing it yourself. All right. Like I said, if you resonated, give the video a like and check out everything that's in the description box. I completely forgot because I jumped right in. I just jumped right in, but I want to tell you about my Otter Spirit bracelets. Beautiful, right? I love these bracelets. Um, these are heart chakra bracelets, but they have all different combinations. You get 15% off. You get to choose your combination. And also my shadow healing coaching program, my group coaching program that has inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, all the healing modalities to help you heal the effects of trauma. Check it out. And yes, I'm open for readings. Okay, so let me read. Thank you for your effort to help soul living. Wishing you. Thank you so much, Alan. And hi, Melissa. And hi, Doy. And thank you again, Alan. First, know thine own ideal, Egder Cass. And that's the truth. And that's truth. It's like we have to know who we are first. And when you're dealing with a person like that, it's like they're hiding behind the facade of that, and mainly because they don't have money. So, and we see a lot of relationships that have ended a long time ago, and we've also seen relationships that really have ended, but there's that people feel obligated. you know it could be any reason of this type with that person, but either way you're still not getting anything, and you're still living the same karmic theme. So kudos to you for actually, breaking that karmic cycle. I mean, that's really what happened here. And that's really good. All right, guys, love you. Bye.